Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of That Conversation. Today is a very special episode. The usual Flutter Lleida crew is in the house. Andreu, Alfredo, and we are here. Hello everyone. Hello Alfredo, how are
Hello.
you? Are you great? Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
very good.
okay, but we definitely not alone today. We brought a heavy cavalry. Joining us as a special guest, we have Abdallah. Uh, uh, I think product manager, right? Product
Yeah,
manager at Google, working across Flutter, Go, and Firebase. I hope to present you properly. And Ahmed, the incredible Flutter expert, powerhouse in the community. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you very much.
thank you for having us.
All right. Before we jump into today massive topics, a quick reminder: everything we are talking about today is riding the wave, the newly released Flutter 3. Well, new maybe it's take next month we will have a new Flutter version. So probably I don't know when this video will be released, but probably we are talking about new release Flutter 3.41 and Dart 3.11, and maybe that is not the latest version. So um, let's get right into it. So this segment of the Flutter and Dart everywhere era, I want to throw this first topic to the table because it blew my mind. Flutter is not longer just for mobile. I think now we are seeing um, new, beautiful, and different ways. Toyota just inbuilt the Flutter Tour. Maybe it's quite new or quite, I mean, step by step, but it is an open source 3D game engine that probably will have more to talk in the future about what this can bring to the Flutter ecosystem. Um, so, Abdallah, let me start with you from Google's perspective, seeing massive enterprises like Toyota, LG, with core hardware experiences on Flutter. What is the driving force making those giants choose Flutter over traditional tools like I don't know Unreal Engine or native C++? So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, so Flutter at its core is really a portable UI framework. So you're able to really embed Flutter and make it run on any screen that paints pixels. And that's a really, really powerful thing because if you're a company that wants to make sure that the experiences that you offer are available on every different type of device and screen that you offer to your customers, Flutter becomes a pretty obvious choice. And the reason for that is because you're able to embed it, you're able to gain access to close to native performance when you're embedding Flutter into all of these different screens and devices. And then on top of that, you don't lose the amazing developer experience that you get when using Flutter and Dart. You still get the type safety, you still get the tooling, and you're able to still have this great development experience and then be able to, at the end of the day, deliver a high performing, beautiful, delightful application that reaches users on any screen. So if you're an enterprise betting on what is the technology that I should be using to deliver these experiences, from what I'm seeing talking to a bunch of enterprise customers that are picking Flutter, it almost becomes the obvious choice if that's the goal. If you want to really have this mix of great developer experience, but then also the portability and truly being able to get your experiences on every type of device and screen.
Cool. Ahmed, uh, uh, bring me down to the code. You build complex apps every day. What do you think about these the integration? What is your point of view about this topic?
Yeah, definitely. I fully agree with what Abdullah said. Maybe from more the technical perspective, it's true that when we started at the beginning in 2017, 2018, everything was really different, but really raw in that sense. If you had to change a lot of things, and you had to go a lot to the native side. So in that moments, we did have to get a lot of native knowledge in these things, and we didn't have also that many platforms nowadays. And when I'm talking even on enterprise apps, it's the normal thing. It's the normal thing to say, okay, I can share the same logic that I have. I can share the same code that I have between mobile, web, desktop, and even right now this web app, and even right now desktop. And we tried it also in enterprise apps, and it's working very good. So we don't have big problems there. And yeah, this changed a lot. And specifically, you will see that now all enterprises, even as it may move, we have as a choose to go already, like the call to go whenever we have any cross-platform application will be Flutter.
Yeah, I mean, I have been thinking about that in large companies. The learning curve about like to switch, like seeing companies like for example LG in the operative system like WebOS running Flutter apps. I mean, what is the learning curve to be able to I mean, it has to be a Dart compiler that has to be adapted for those machines, or for example, like Toyota in the cars. I was wondering, I mean, how hard is for the engineers team, also in Google, also in the car companies to create that conversations or conversions between knowledge exchange to create something like that. Andrew, what do you think about?
I'm always impressed. I remember to start seeing in Google many years ago when the language was created and launched to the public and so on. And I'm really impressed of the level of quality is getting. And also, we have talked many times in this little show we have about this facility it has about being multi-platform. And as you were saying, having it running in very, very curious places, no? So when you talk about the car, I don't remember which car company you name. Would you explain to the people that maybe your dashboard, your whatever new, I don't want to name the names of the companies, but whatever new dashboard, brilliant dashboard is made in Flutter, people get absolutely crazy. So exactly the same with the TVs and so on. So this way of arriving to the market for real with products that is on hands of millions and billions of consumers, not only in the phones, of course, for the mobile thing, it's clear. But when we cross this line and we are in other kind of products and things that even people maybe use a little bit less than a phone, but they also use it all day long, the car, the TVs, and so on. For me, it's totally amazing. Alfredo, what is your point on this?
Yeah, I completely agree with you in the way that, probably the team who created the Dart language didn't imagine how powerful can be in the next few years when it was adopted with Flutter. But yeah, like a few weeks ago, I was making a project creating an MCP server using Dart, and it's amazing. Like the syntaxes of the language and everything works very good in desktop apps or in mobile or in web apps, but in backend as well, or for CLIs or this kind of things. So I really think that one of the best things about the being like Flutter developer is the Dart language for sure. I was talking with other JavaScript developers about some errors that they are facing every day because of the language, because of the syntax, and how the language is made. And with Flutter, we don't have these problems. And I am very grateful that we have this very nice language that we can use for Flutter apps. So yeah.
Awesome. It sounds awesome. And also,
Maybe I want to
finishing.
add something there, if it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's especially also good what we have in Flutter, thanks to the community. Maybe as a community guy, also I want to say that it is crazy to see how in the community we always have this. How can we push Flutter everywhere? Like we have memes. I mean, maybe you know already, guys. How Sasha built also Flutter and rebuild the engine to actually run it on an Apple TV. So And we also seen that even on our offices, what we have is like the coffee machine. How can we also make sure that the coffee machine is also using Flutter? So it's trying to run Flutter everywhere. Even myself also was trying also Flutter for wearables. I did also several talks regarding Flutter for wearables. So it's us lobbying a technology and then trying to push the limit, trying to
Yeah.
push it, trying to have it in every screen. I think this is what also the technology is good, as you mentioned, Alfredo. Also, Dart is amazing. I love it as a language, but it's true also that the community itself build the technology also.
Yeah.
And we seen also that even in the Chinese community. Last time I was in Hong Kong giving a talk regarding Flutter, I was amazed. Then at that moment I didn't know, but I was amazed that they did build their own engine for building Flutter apps for Harmony. And I didn't know that they have a big community there, big community fork, and they have their own engine to build it that. And then other companies, other enterprise companies, without naming enterprise companies, are using that built by the community. So it's
Nice.
crazy.
Amazing.
It's amazing. And don't forget, and following with what you are saying, Ahmed, in Xiaomi just announced, I don't know, 1 month ago or 2 months ago, they are playing or researching about the Rust, moving the operative system field using Rust, and also they are playing with Flutter engine to create bridges for their ecosystem apps. So I think actually Flutter and Dart everywhere is a beautiful era right now in the Flutter ecosystem, right? But I think now we can not only talk about a simple stack, the technology stack, because actually the AI and the cloud infrastructure is actually is following our steps. So um, the also the I think we should talk about the backend or starting talking about the backend, because also with the latest version of Dart, the server-side ecosystem is getting stronger. Also, Cloud Run Mix now with Dart will play a new next step for serverless apps with using everything with Flutter. So Alfredo, have you been playing with something like that, or what do you think about this?
Yeah, directly with, as I mentioned, using to create an MCP server. So yeah, I'm very like looking forward also to have this cloud run as well in Firebase for the Firebase function. That I think is like a very nice suite or ecosystem about the with all the products. And for Flutter developers, if you can deploy as well some function using that, it will be amazing. I know that from the last IO Connect that we have here in Europe, we talked about we talked a little bit about this possibility, and I think it's closer now. So I hope to see soon this support of Dart directly in the Firebase function using this Cloud Run. So yeah, looking forward for this, because now with other projects like Serverport and Dartfog, I think we will have like a very complete or very nice ecosystem to play around these full stacks developer or full stack applications.
I think, Abdallah, this is literally your world. I mean, you manage to
Yeah.
go and Firebase along Flutter. So
Yeah,
go
absolutely.
is a backend.
Absolutely. I'm a huge advocate of full stack Dart. I truly, like what you all have been saying, I think Dart is really a superpower for Flutter developers. I really think it's a fantastic language. I love the tooling. I love the fact that I'm able to use it everywhere in my stack, not just for front end and back end, but like, as you were saying, as well for like CLI scripts, like automations, like things like that. So definitely, not only is like Firebase functions like really coming really soon, like we're actually testing the latest version that's about to go out like very soon. So we're really excited about that. Like I really feel that that's been a missing part of the story for Flutter developers, is like being able to really deploy in a very seamless way Dart on the server. I think the Flutter team has had an excellent relationship with the Firebase team. And I think routing out that full stack Dart story is it's just going to open up a lot of new doors for the ecosystem. And I'm really excited about that. I worked at Amazon before being here, where I was a Flutter product manager as well, and I was continuously pushing the Dart full stack story. And a big point that I kept hearing was like, we need to see Google investing more in Dart on the cloud in order for us to be able to really invest in that ourselves, and to be able to have that confidence that Google believes that Dart is a language for the cloud. And I think with function support for Dart on Firebase is just the first step. There's so much more that we want to do there. So, but I really do think it's the step that's going to open up a lot of doors. Is it going to bring in the community? So we're really excited about that.
Sounds amazing. Like I mean, because as Flutter developer, I mean, to have the Firebase stack fully behind of that stack technology would be amazing. So, and what do you think now? What is going on in the large companies about the? I mean, with the AI, I think the AI is going to destroy us. Alfredo, what do you think? We have to jump our CVs to clean houses, and what do you think? What is your point of view about this? I mean, everybody. I think I'm hearing a lot of things, and the as business guy, I think the market is completely crazy right now. The industry is crazy, and as developer, I feel developers in a similar way. I mean, so some of them worried about their future, other than thinking like AI is not for me, just for the rest of one. I'm hearing a lot of things, so let's surround about points of view.
Very quickly, I saw 2 points like in the last weeks. The first one was the creator of OpenCloud, that this he posted something like, it was a few days ago, talking about the possibility that the AI runs in a cycle without any human intervention. And he said that the AI is going to create a lot of slop because AI needs this human touch or human direction. So as a developer, I think that we will have even more work in the future, because I think now with the AI, the people is creating more stuff. The world is creating like more products. All the things in the real world is becoming digital. So I think like for us as developers, we are going to have like more work for sure, but it's going to be different. So as I mentioned a lot of times with some colleagues and also some friends, that you don't get money because you create so many line of codes. You get money because you create solutions in a real world. So I think AI is a tool. It's a very powerful tool, but at the end, it's a tool. So I really think that in the future it will be very nice, because when you spend like in the last year a lot of hours only to create some scaffold and some like boring stuff, now you can delegate to the AI and you can create like quick products very easily. So I'm not worried at all. And I forgot the second point. I think it was related with the app. It was Roy Davis, another very nice Googler, that he mentioned about the AI with Flutter, give him and a lot of people the possibility to create like very nice prototypes and very nice products very easily. When in the past it was like a barrier, maybe because you have to learn a new language or a new framework. But nowadays you can use this Flutter with this Hot Reload and Hot Restart and the very large ecosystem with AI to create like very nice demos, very nice products. So I think the future is looking very nice.
Andrew, we were last
I want to listen to our guest today. Maybe Ahmed, can you explain your point of view of this?
Okay.
I'm reserving for the end with a simple question. Ahmed.
Yep. Should I say already the face palm? Like, yes, we are getting killed. Yes, AI is getting all of our jobs. No, it's not true. It's not true. Actually, not spam. Recently, I had this talk in Fata Valencia about how actually AI is affecting, and especially what we can do as Fata developers, like how AI is also agentic coding. The era is affecting also Flutter, and how I see it, that this is actually an opportunity for us. And this is not new to us. Actually, we hear all of this noise, market noise, at that moment on Flutter when Flutter was created and was pushing, and hybrid technology was pushing, and we hear that noise from native developers that were saying, no, yeah, native development is gonna be killed. And then no, nothing happened. We hear that even more and more, even in the web world. When WordPress was created, everyone was saying like, yeah, WordPress is gonna kill. And even if you take a look at the market changed at that moment. We had a crazy amount of people actually trying to change fields because they thought that web development is killed at that moment, thanks to WordPress. And then what happened? What happened is that basically the technology shift. We had more specialization. We had then front end and back end development at that moment didn't exist. And this is what I think, that the market is shifting again. This is normal. The market is always shifting, especially in our field. We never enter this field thinking that what we studied 10 years ago will be today something that we will not have to change or update. Of course, our field is changing every time. Of course, that's for sure. We had it with Flutter that people had to adapt. If you want to do hybrid technologies, you have to adapt to the Flutter, and then we are going to have it with now AI. It's of course I think what makes AI special is that it's even quicker and faster. That the market is not being able to change. That the market is changing a lot in the sense of us, even companies. Like when we are talking about enterprise companies, we are seeing how now we have expectations from clients that we can still meet that much. So for example, right now, you can see a lot of the clients asking for very short-term projects in a very extreme cost budget. And they say, yeah, but you can do it with AI, which in some sense is very true. We are getting much faster. We can create much more prototypes. And that's what we are seeing, that the client suddenly comes with a prototype that they created with Claude with 3 days. And then suddenly they say, yeah, I already programmed half of it. Can you program the other half of it? Which is, of course, doesn't make sense. But yeah, we are going to see more and more and more prototypes. I think that Flutter also helped at that moment in the market when we made somehow prototypes and MVPs products for startup companies being easier and faster and with less costs to actually being accessible for the people. And we've seen that, no? How we then seen in the market many prototypes, which then translated to an opportunity for enterprise clients to actually get the prototype to build a real product there. And we are seeing the same, but in a very massive scale. We are seeing the same with AI, but in a really massive scale. That we have a lot of prototypes everywhere, and we need people like you, like me, that we know about the technology, that we know how the technology works, that we know how to build real products. That is there. You know, maybe you heard all of us about the problems. There's 70-30. Yes, of course, it's very easy to create the 70% with agentic coding, especially if you're a programmer. But then 30%, that's the problem. That's where we need engineers. We need people that know, context engineers that know about the thing that we are typing at that magic board.
Yeah, you're right. Andrew.
No, Abdallah, please.
Yeah. So this is a really hard answer for me because I am working at Google, right? And the reason why I say it's hard is because we are using so much internal tooling that is all around AI. Like we use AI every day. Like I've been able, frankly, to automate a decent chunk of the things that I need to do for my job using a lot of the internal tooling that we have. So a big part of me is like, I see the argument of like, oh, jobs going away, but I just don't think that's actually true. Because what I've actually noticed is a lot of what my job is about talking to customers and partners and building relationships and really understanding the ecosystem and filling in gaps where there are gaps. And actually what I've been able to do with AI is take away a lot of the menial work that has actually made it a lot more possible for me to be able to spend time with you here on this, like to talk to all of you and meet all of you. And I feel like if I was not doing that with AI, I would not have as much time that I can dedicate to actually building those relationships. So I actually feel like I'm able to use AI, in my opinion, in the most effective ways to take away all of this craft, like all of the things I have to do in terms of collecting reports, in terms of sharing insights from customers, and do that in an automated way to allow me to really be effective in doing the human thing that I need to be doing here, which is like building relationships, building partnerships. Now, I talk to 5 to 10 customers a week at the bare minimum. That's the baseline that I have for myself. And when I talk to customers that are varying degrees of AI adoption, you have people that are like the complete absolute no. Like, I'm not going to touch it. I don't like the idea of my code base being influenced by AI. I want to understand every line of code. But that definitely has become the minority. Like, I'm talking to less and less people that are in that camp. The majority of people, I would say, are in the realm of AI assisted coding. Like, I'm still the person making the technical decisions. I'm making decisions about the stack. I'm making architectural decisions, and AI is executing on my behalf. I'm always using planning mode in whatever coding agent that I'm using, and it's a very structured way of using AI coding agents. And then you have the other folks that are sort of like at the cutting edge, that are building completely autonomous, with using completely autonomous agents, where they're using async or background agents, and they're completely building things without actually reviewing code. And that, I would say, is like very much the minority at this point, all the way at the top end of very much the early adopters. I would say, like, for the customers that I talk to, that I see are they have enterprise scale, they have millions of customers that depend on their product, they're building products that are very much revenue critical for their companies. They're not just vibe coding away their changes. They have engineers that have built a ton of guardrails to make sure that even if you're using AI coding agents, that every line of code that's going into your code base is actually code that is going to be able to be maintained. And that the person that authored that code is willing to actually take ownership of that code after it is merged. Like, the companies that I've seen that have had really good success are the ones that have been able to figure out that formula for them. And it's very different for each company, and it's very different for each team within that company as well. So I wouldn't say that AI is definitely, it's changing the way that we work. I just don't see the role for engineers going away. I actually see it as engineers now needing to upskill and actually truly become domain experts to really help them be able to like solidify having like a specific part of the stack that they truly are able to understand, or maybe a specific industry or vertical or whatever it is, to really be able to differentiate themselves and be able to really position themselves like for this new age that we're in. So one of my colleagues actually has a really great way of framing it, where he says there's a difference between programming and software engineering. AI coding agents are great at programming. They can spit out as many lines of code as you want. But in terms of making sure that all of that is in context, that really applies to your governance rules, to your security rules, that's really software engineering. And that's really where humans, at this point in time at least, are like really the most well-positioned to be able to like really help their companies.
Yeah,
I like
to Abdallah only like one topic.
Please.
If the viewers are interested, there is a very nice book called Engineering at Google from Orolei, the books. So it is very nice because they talked about this before AI. They talked about the difference between programming and software engineering. And now, as Abdallah mentioned, like it currently is a huge difference between programming and software engineering. And if you are a developer and you are listening this podcast, like try to focus more on the software engineering than in the programming.
So, Abdallah, you say that thank you to the tools you are heavily using internally, you have time to do other stuff like this, attending these conversations today. So I am more on the, I would say, education side of the business, not only on the coding. And from my point of view, it's been a very tough moment on the education, because if it's tough for the clients, for the enterprises to understand what they can do, how they will approach this thing, I would say students are totally lost. I mean, it's totally difficult for the people that are teaching that person, still the persons that are trying to learn a new career for the future. We are in a very, I will say, peculiar moment, peculiar at least. So my question, I wanted to be at the end of the conversation about AI. It's not the end. We can talk as much minute as Víctor allows us. I wanted to ask you, as people that are more coding every day, What is your approach? I mean, are you using heavily these tools, and are you crunching? I don't remember the name. Someone invented a name this week talking about how you crunch tokens in your daily work. I don't remember the name, but someone says that if you are not burning tokens all day long, you're not on the committee. So what is your thing? Are you using without naming the companies, because we have to be respectful with all every of us, we are on a different situation regarding what we can say. But for example, Victor, you work for a very huge consulting company. What is the approach that you can talk about?
I'm gonna say a complaint
Ooh.
about this topic because this week I had a conversation, an internal conversation about this with a college, where I said we cannot sell properly tools if we are not the best users of them. And what I wanted to say, I use it an example. We cannot sell cars, or I mean, let's say a company, whatever you want, but we go to the job every day in an old car, 30 years, built 30 years ago. So that was because in a I am taking a lot of care about what I am saying about
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, and if you don't, stop.
and I am because I don't want to say. But the point is, I don't want to say the original names or any people who is around this topic. But the point is I mean, we have sometimes like big companies focus in just clients or sell products or more. We want to sell more. We want to have a quick revenue. But sometimes we need to put a seed, and let it go, because that would be a tree that will make us revenue. Sometimes in big companies that's not simple. Sometimes we want to do small changes with big impacts, but sometimes is the opposite is big changes to start to have small impact, and in a domino way, we will recover what we wanted at the beginning. So I want to say something that, because I am totally agree with all of you. So I wanted to bring us or to bring you, sorry, my point of view about this topic without a new fresh of point of view.
I wanted to say something before pass the word. Abdallah, also, maybe Victor was trying to say that these companies at some moment and clients it will be an obligation for us to be up to date. But at this moment, it's totally crazy or impossible simply to be up to date. Talking about Google, and with all the respect and the love we have for the company, Google is totally crazy launching products every day. And other companies launch products, but they have, I will say, a smaller area, but Google has many legs and many different kinds of products. So I would say I don't imagine any person in Google being the master of AI, because it has to be impossible. All of you are on this. So stay up to date on the things you launch, for maybe passing the word to the clients, or for developing your code, or simply for the daily work, as you say, for the tools that you are giving us in the work, wherever. It's totally crazy. You are launching products non-stop daily. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really hard to keep up. That's for sure. And my job is, like I said, like talking to customers and partners, right? So a lot of the questions that I get are about like, okay, well, you guys launched 5 products this week. Give me a matrix explaining the differences between these products and when I should use one or the other, and what are the use cases where one or the other makes sense. So it helps that I've been in developer tooling for a bit, so I'm able to like relate to the products really quickly, but I just don't have enough time to be able to go very deep into these products and be able to provide like a lot of like really in deep, like very deep guidance if there's like a specific use case that they're looking for that I'm just not familiar with. So that's where I lean on, like for example, our go-to-market and sales teams to be able to help. But to your point, it is very. I have never experienced ever in my career this level of progress and speed. And I mean, I worked at Amazon before, right? Like, and the big thing was like, after Amazon, I was in my own startup, and I was like, oh wow, when you're in a startup, you're able to move so much faster and launch so much faster. Like working in big tech companies, they just are not unable to do that. And then, fast forward to this moment in time, and now I'm at Google, and I'm like, I am having a hard time catching up with just the things that my company is launching. And so for me to keep up with what's actually happening in the industry as a whole is very, very difficult. And what's really even more interesting is that it's not just the products, but it also is protocols that are coming and going as well. And I've never experienced that before. I've always thought of protocols as like, oh, when a protocol comes in, there's a very high chance it's going to last a while. But that just doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Like you have to really do take everything with a grain of salt and really be able to try all of the different tooling and then decide, does this make sense for me at this point in time? And if the answer is no, then maybe you need to give it a little bit of time for it to bake in before it starts making sense for you. I think if you're trying to go after every new tool or every new pattern that comes out in order for you to use it, you're just going to drive yourself crazy. It's just not sustainable.
Let's listen Ahmed's opinion on this.
Yes, maybe also my perspective is kind of like different. I'm also in a consultant company. I work on Mabonov. Maybe to give more context, I'm a Flutter unit head. So we are based on guilds, on units, and we have different units for different technologies. So I'm leading the unit of Flutter. We are like 20-something developers, and we work for companies like BMW, Miele, etc., etc. You can see it there. I don't want to make spam there. But I think in our case, actually, we did manage quite well to adapt. It did have to reshape the company itself, that's for sure. I think that this change in the market that was this big, that we had to do it. It is true that we also have a full department that's responsible for also teaching our developers, and also our devs themselves also are responsible to update themselves and everything. But maybe to mention regarding that, maybe from our experience, what we've seen, starting from something is better than not starting. So what I've seen in many companies is that people get that much overwhelmed that they say, yeah, but I can't update myself to the market. It is true. Of course, you will never be able to update yourself to the market every time that they create a new model or every time that we have a new tool and everything. That's impossible. But you still need these skills that will be needed for the agentic coding era. You have to adapt to it. And for sure, maybe also going back to what we were talking about, Andreu, before, yes, of course, we still are going to have our dev jobs. No, that's for sure. Not dev itself as a software engineer. I don't think that AI will kill developers, but of course, developers that use AI will kill other devs that don't use it. That's for sure. So we have to adapt to it. The way of now delivering products is different. And if we have big companies, and especially consultant companies, also as Víctor was mentioning, that we need to adapt to the client's needs on the market. If you don't adapt, you get killed. That's for sure. In the business model, I'm not talking about killing the reality, but yeah, that's it. And it's like now, after some time, I was always imagining like, oh, wow, it's gonna be really difficult to meet the expectation that we have in the current state from the market itself, because we have 30% cuts or something like this in many of the big enterprises, even that they expect you to have a 30% cost and the same delivery. And at the first moment, I was a spectacle, to be honest, like 1 year ago or 2 years ago. But not, right now, I'm seeing that yes, this is possible. And we are seeing now that we can make revenue because we adapt to it. So of course, don't expect that you will be able to adapt to this crazy wave. No one is adapt to the all, like being up to date all the time. And especially, I think that also I posted that on LinkedIn. Maybe also another complaint, sorry, Abdallah, that you today are gonna get all the complaints to Google. But something that I would really like, especially for us companies that we're spending lots of money and like providing our best tools to our devs to be able to deliver the most. I've seen something on Android, and Android is a framework that I really like, this Android bench, that they basically have this benchmark that they have different models and they compare models differently, and then they can like devs, Android devs, that they know, okay, this is the best model that we can right now, because it will adapt every 2 weeks. But right now, this is the best model that we can invest on it, and the companies can invest on it. And how do you say it, Andreu? It's like breaking tokens. What was that? Crunching tokens?
Burning tokens.
Burning tokens, yes. And you can then, with this model, I'm happy to spend with it because it's the best model, but we don't have something official from the Flutter team itself for that. And from my experience, what I've seen, it's really different from our experience. Cloud Opus 4.6, yes, it has very good outputs in some cases, but Gemini itself, it's working much better in the Flutter context and when you are working on Flutter tasks. So it's even like a Google technology that can do somehow spam for a Google model. And I don't get it why Google is doing like a Flutter bench.
I can say in my case, for example, we have some clients which, I mean, they don't want to. I mean, they want the best of the AI. I mean, they want to have advanced and reduce the effort and also everything. But on the other hand, I mean, they let to the consultant company, to decide if it's secure or not, or if there is any risks about the AI. I mean, or if any, the information about the project is leaked. So it will, you will accept the risks to use AI. I want only the optimization. I don't want to take any risk. So I don't know if some other of you, but in large companies, I'm seeing this things like this happens.
Alfredo.
So just to respond to Ahmed's point,
Sure.
I think I have seen you post about like, why don't we have like an evals thing for Flutter in the same way that we do for Android? So that is something that we're working on right now. So we have our internal eval set that we're using in order to help us really measure how AI performance is like for generating Flutter code and Dart code for different models. We're not super happy with the state that it's in yet, so that's why you haven't seen anything published out for it. We're just trying to do it in the best way possible that helps us do two things. One, helps us make sure that there is information that's available to the community that helps them understand how well is AI generating code for Flutter across different models, public information for the community. But then the other thing is we also want to use that information to be able to share internally with the Gemini team to help them better train their models in the future, to really help us make sure that Gemini is the best possible model for when you're creating Flutter code as well. So it really is going to serve that dual purpose for us. The reason you haven't seen anything public from that is just because we're still working on it. It's still in progress. But it's definitely something that's on our radar.
Love to hear that. Thank you.
Yeah, looking forward for this. Huh?
Oh, you're right.
Alfredo, your opinion.
Yeah, not too much to include because I think all of the points I agree with that. Yeah, I can say that from my point of view, it will be very different in every company, and the main thing is like every company has to find their own way of integrating AI because. Yeah, I saw some companies like burning credits because they have a contract with some providers to have like some credits or tokens that they have to use in every month. And we have other companies that they don't want to spend too much money on top of the software developers' salary or pay slips. So, and of course, the implementation will be different in these two companies, for example. So the point I can say that it's better to have like best or to have better software developers that they know how to use AI than or forced to use AI on every day on every task, or having company that they are pushing back a lot of for this AI integration in their company. So yeah, not too much. Like for me, the most important thing is like the people is prepared to use AI if they have credits or if they can use AI. But I don't think that using AI only to use AI is worth it.
Well, for example, Alfredo, you work you work in, I would say, middle-sized company regarding
Yeah.
the other companies here, and
Yeah.
what is, if you can name, what is the
Sure.
approach? What is the approach of your company? I mean, on this,
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
you have to use AI tools in your daily coding. You have to burn tokens. You have to be so careful with the whatever output is coming from the machine.
Yeah, I can say that I am the most advocated developer for AI in my company.
Oh,
So yeah,
good.
before to enter my company in November, they didn't use too much AI. Now they are playing a little bit with some providers. Yeah, so in my case, the company is pushing a little bit back this AI because they want to have like very good programmers first or developers first, and then if everyone is already educated, or if everyone is already know what the AI is doing, what is the benefits of or using AI, what is the security risk of using AI or disadvantage of using AI. They want to have this first and then use more heavily the AI. So nowadays, more or less, we are using in a normal way. Like we don't have like too much credits to use, but we can use AI. So I would say that my company is in the middle ground between this heavy use AI company and other companies that doesn't allow the employees to use AI.
Okay. Before before to go to the big announcement of the big event of Flutter that we want to present, I would like to ask our guests something a question that we always ask. Is what are you looking forward in future versions of Dart or Flutter? Yeah, I mean, like a wise list. Like what if I mean, if you were a product manager in Flutter and Dart, what what would you like to have? Like,
So,
feel free. I mean, Ahmed, maybe you are thinking, or do you have it? Do you have it? So.
I kind of have like two things for me actually. Maybe as a wearable guy that I love wearables. Maybe this is why you've seen that I talk many times about wearables and Flutter for wearables. I would love to have an official support for wearables. To be honest, I would love to have that. I know that it's difficult technically, but yeah, I would love that. And maybe the other point was something that I also mentioned. If we have an official support also for Harmony, since it's created already by the Chinese community, that will be amazing because we started this conversation on how Flutter is everywhere now. So this is another place that we also want to be there. The Chinese market is really big, and Harmony OS is a big also operating system used by millions. So of course, would love to also see that. And of course, I would say what we were talking, Abdallah, I would really like to see Flutter more even adapted to the agentic coding era, of course.
Awesome. Cool. Awesome.
I
Alfredo,
want to actually,
Okay,
I want to actually comment real quick on Ahmed's point. So around making it easier to really get Flutter everywhere. So there's an initiative that we've just kicked off actually, where we're exploring what we're calling pluggable ecosystems. So really making it much easier for you to be able to truly embed Flutter everywhere. So right now, for example, if you're trying to build your own custom embedder, there's a lot of things that you need to do. Like you need to fork that Flutter engine, you have to build your own embedder, you have to like have some experience with using C in order for you to be able to do all of the things necessary for you to build that embedder. So we're trying to think of ways in which we can make that a lot simpler, where you don't need to do a lot of upfront heavy lifting in order for you to be able to truly embed Flutter everywhere, and just like make it significantly easier to bring together like our community that's building embedded systems. So a big part of that is going to be also unlocking things for wearables as well. We're still very, very early in our exploration, but that's definitely one of our focuses for this year. Just wanted to make sure to call that out since you sounded extremely passionate about this.
Nice.
Yes. Can I
Nice.
can I also ask something now that we are here?
Yeah.
Native interop. Is there some news regarding that?
So we're just solidifying it, making it better, making it easier. We're also considering potentially using FFI with Pigeon as well, just to make it significantly easier for you to be able to have all of the wiring necessary to reach the native iOS and Android platforms. And there's another stream of work as well where we're actually been having conversation with the native script team as well. To see if they would be interested in vending a package that would make it possible for you to access any of the native APIs using a Dart layer as well. So those are all of the things that we're doing, like on the interop side today.
Wow.
This is amazing. I really love it. I really love it. Yeah, I'm very excited. Actually, I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Love to hear many good news for Flutter. To be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's go to the
Alfredo?
beach. Let's go to the beach or not?
Let's go to the beach.
Vamos a la playa. Oh.
Nice. So, yeah, a different topic that we didn't touch yet is about the now that the Flutter team is decoupled the material and Cupertino package in the framework. Now I'm looking forward for to improve the design system. That is something. When I was working in a few companies, that it was a painful point of being in with Flutter, that to create this design system is quite a challenge because of the integration with material, and maybe you cannot create like a full custom theme. You depends of a lot of time on materials. So looking forward to see this the new implementation, and probably like a lot of package from the community that they are going to create very nice design system for a nice UIs in the future in Flutter. Yeah, as I mentioned, Ahmed, yeah, looking forward also for the more guidelines in the AI coding stuff from the Flutter team directly. So probably we can improve our AI coding experience, I would say, with Flutter. So yeah, for workshop as well, and also for some training that we do as speakers, it will be very nice.
Speakers? Is there any speaker in this conversation? No, no one speaks here. I think it's a moment to no. Let me talk. Let me say. Maybe it's the moment to publicly say again, congratulate Víctor Carreras, because we have a new GDE on town.
Yeah.
Víctor Carreras finally has
Congrats.
got his GDE on Flutter on Dart.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks so much. Abdallah, if you feel comfortable with the question, I would like to ask you the same wish list. What is your wish list? I mean, because I mean, being product manager means a lot of things. So I think, I mean, there are some things like it's out of your control. So this is more like where you're feeling like, lower in this stack at the moment.
Yeah, I think if I have a wish list, a lot of it are things that are already in progress, actually, which is really exciting.
Okay.
But like, for example, I love the fact that we're like really starting to push like Dart full stack, like, and officially like we're gonna have like a really great way for Flutter developers to be able to use Dart everywhere. That's one. I love the decoupling of the design systems, because it's going to make it so much easier for you to be able to build your own custom design systems, because we're going to have raw widgets. So that's going to be great. I really feel like there's a lot of products in the ecosystem right now that were things that are on my wish list, actually. So I'm going to start from the top of the stack all the way from design, like Designer from Flutterflow, for example. Have you guys used that product? It's insane.
Yeah, I do.
It's so freaking good. It's so good. And the
Yeah.
reason why I really like it is because you're able to, in less than 10 seconds, create 7 screens from a single prompt for the type of application that you want to build. It's all wired up to your specific custom design. And what's really great is that it's all controlled by a central theme. So you're able to very quickly and easily flip themes, and you're able to very quickly be able to like completely change the design of your application. And you're able to generate screens like so fast. It's so crazy fast.
Yeah.
And you don't lose the layers, so you can still export everything back to Figma. And so it's a great workflow. And then what's really great is that you can also export it as prompts. So then you can drop it into your coding agent, and you're able to generate the screen that you want exactly the same. Like I've been able to generate apps, like 10 screen apps with navigation hooked up, everything like that, like from the prompts from designer. Crazy product. Like I'm a huge fan. I've been advocating for it for quite a while. I love that. I love that experience of being able to vibe design like what my app needs to be, but have it actually be wired up the way a Flutter app is with your theme data and everything, so that you're able to actually be able to take it to code much faster. Then the other part that like, okay, now you have your designs, now you're building your app. I really like what ServerPod is doing with like this whole idea of like a full stack Dart framework, that you're able to really use Dart everywhere in your stack, and you're able to everything from like functions, from auth to databases and everything, like all of that is using the Dart layer. Like I love that. I love like being able to do everything that way. And then on top of that, the next layer is like I want to make sure my front end and back end are constantly basically their versions are matching, that there isn't sort of like any discrepancies between my front end and back end. And therefore, if I deploy my back end, and from my front end, I can use Shorebird, and I can make sure that my front end is continuously updated. Like I feel like those three together, to me, like I feel like I wish like I can squish them all into like this one thing and make them this one thing. But like if I'm a Flutter developer building a Flutter app in the wild today, that would probably be my stack personally. Just because I feel like it's very productive, and it's all built within the foundations of people that really understand Flutter are the people that have built all of these tools, and they cover all of these different parts of the software development lifecycle. So I'm really excited that those are things that exist in our ecosystem, because honestly, like maybe even a couple of years ago, these were all things that were in my wish list, right? And these are all things that exist now in the ecosystem, which is great. The third thing is definitely getting Flutter everywhere. Like the idea of being able to basically be able to deploy Flutter on any platform in a very easy way, and you still get access to all the tooling, you still get access to all of the things that Flutter gives you without having to manage your own fork of Flutter and all of that, I think would be like phenomenal. Like those are, I would say, like to me, the three things top of mind.
Nice.
Nice. So I think we are in the final part. Alfredo, Andrew was talking about to go to the playa. So let's talk about what we are talking about playa. What we are talking about. I thought
The beach. We are going to the beach. We're bringing back to the beach.
And what is and why the beach is related with this? With Flutter?
Go, Alfredo, go. You can do it.
Yeah. Why? Like, we thought that we need to bring the Flutter community to the best place in the world, in my opinion, that is Malaga.
That's a big statement.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have the FlutterConf, and as a Flutter Spanish community, we are coming back again in this 2026 in Malaga. So we're going to have like a 2 full days event of Flutter. So we are bringing the student community, the professional community, and for sure the community itself, like speakers, GDG organizer, Flutter meetups organizer, people involved in the community, to the same event. So we will have this 2 days event. Yeah, looking forward to
That's
see you
it.
in there.
That's it. Nothing else. What about Malaga?
We have
and the GSEC. What about we are going to have the event in a very special place.
Yeah, that's true. And the first day we're going to be in the Google Security Engineering Center. That is like very long name, but it's one of the best office that Google has in Europe. So I recommend you to come to the FlutterConf to see this lovely office that I went a few times and is amazing. For sure, we will have some time for the networking. You will enjoy some Malaga snacks and some very nice weather, because it's going to be on May, so the weather will be amazing.
Sorry. Malaga snacks, espetos.
Do you want to say in Spanish? Yes. Some espetos.
Yeah, it's fish for
sardine sticks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of. But so yeah, we will have this nice.
And any other maybe a little bit about the speakers. Make some.
Yeah.
Those are not spoiled because those are announced already.
Yeah, we have like a very nice lineup. We have 2 speakers here in the afternoon that we have Víctor and Ahmed that are going to speak in the afternoon for professionals. I'm going to do a workshop in the morning for the students because we love the student community and we are like very on top of the students. So we know that they're going to choose Flutter in their professional career. And and also we have some Googlers. They are going to talk about this interoperability in the event, and it will be very nice. And also, for sure, we have other speakers that they have very nice talks, and we have a few tickets left, the free tickets left. So if you are interested to come into the FlutterConf, you can visit our flutterconf.es, that's from the Spanish domain, and you can check all the news, you can check all the details about the conference, and if you want to request your ticket, you can get it in the webpage.
For free. For free. For free.
For free.
You name it. We are free.
And hurry up, there aren't many left. So
Only I saw a few moments ago, and it was like 21 tickets.
left. So hurry up, guys.
Hurry.
We saw that we have people around the world that they are coming to the Flutter to the FlutterConf. So I think it's a very 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 good moment to visit Malaga, and if you have a conference as well. So
thanks so much to be all of you in this. I think it has been like always really warm to have you. See you in the next conversation.
Thank you.
Thanks so
Take
much,
care.
Victor.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ron, for having
Bye
me.
bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.